in that onboarding step, it's so important to have that fake user detection, to layer in that identity verification. But it doesn't stop there. With so many data breaches that we're talking about, there's just about all of our information, usernames, passwords, our Christy mother's maiden name is out there, out there in the ether. It's out there on the dark web. Fraudsters have access to this at their fingertips. So it's so easy to go and purchase usernames and passwords, go and take over one's account. So from log in to log out, Mikhail is trusting you to keep his account safe. So again, there are questions that you need to answer. There are considerations that need to go into your platform to ensure that we're keeping your users safe. So baseline is MFA turned on? Are you using multi-factor authentication? Over 1 million passwords are stolen every single week. So if you just have username and password, you need that additional layer of security, that additional factor. There's a famous Microsoft study that MFA keeps 99% of accounts safe. So in this day and age, it's no longer a nice to have, it is an absolute must have. Are your critical transactions safe? So when you're making that big purchase, that $2,000 check or transfer, now it's not in the bank, now it's on, or not in the branch, now it's online. But when you're transferring money out of your account, you're making that big purchase, maybe you're changing your password, updating your credit card or billing information. Some of those important transactions, there needs to be an additional component, an additional challenge, an additional check to ensure that it's Mikhail, legitimately the Mikhail that's trying to engage that interaction. Also, is the OTP at risk with phishing and vishing and smishing, all of these different social engineering techniques? It's becoming more and more common that fraudsters are attacking that one-time passcode that is being sent. So SIM swap attacks, which is where a fraudster will convince a mobile network operator they'll impersonate you, they'll get the mobile network operator to send you a new SIM card, and they'll intercept your one-time passcode. Fraudsters will use that, take over your account, go and transfer money out. So layering into determining, is the one-time passcode, is that MFA, are these critical interactions safe, is something that absolutely needs to be considered. So diving into how that works, how Telesign is able to sit behind the scenes and again, at these critical moments, keep you and your platform, your customer safe. So we have the ability to check SIM swap status. So before you send that one-time passcode, before Christy's favorite customer sends $2,000 out of their bank account, we can determine if the SIM swap of that phone number was SIM swapped in the last 24 hours. Was it last 72 hours? Those are some of those risk signals. Maybe it was, I switched from AT&T to T-Mobile 2 months ago. We're going to see that happened, that occurred. That's a very low risk. Very similarly, looking at porting history. Are you changing providers? Are you moving to a different country? Is there an opportunity for a fraudster to intercept that one-time passcode by porting out their phone number to another phone number? Looking at call forwarding detection, I think for most of us today, we don't really receive voice one-time passcodes via a phone call, but for people all over the world, that's still a viable form of verification. It's still being used, and a fraudster can call the mobile network operator and say, I'm going to forward all of my phone calls from this number to this number. A fraudster is in possession of that receiving end. They intercept that one-time passcode, they get your PIN, and they immediately have access to your account. And there's another account takeover signal called number deactivation, and thinking about the millions of phone numbers that are recycled every single year that are changing hands. If you go and log out of your ride-sharing app and log back in, you probably don't remember your username and password, but they're going to give you an option to sign in with just your phone number. If you changed your phone number and someone else has your old phone number, they sign in, your phone number becomes the password, the one-time passcode becomes your password. They are in your account. It's not as nefarious as some of these other tactics, but it still happens. At that point, they have access to your saved credit cards. They have access to your PII information. It oftentimes can still be nefarious that fraudsters are looking at high net worth individuals that may have changed phone numbers, and they're able to mine and be really targeted, really strategic. So again, these are these critical moments with your live active account. So ensuring that these critical moments are protected, that you're looking at these different moments or these different signals that can trigger an account takeover. Login attempts, these high value transactions, these account changes are moments that you need to protect to ensure that you're building that trusted experience for your customers.